Look, the ship has sailed. The whole Justin Herbert question, that ship has sailed right now. I mean, unless something dramatic happens. That Justin Herbert kid, I mean, that's a 15-year stud. I mean, they got that is a flat-out stud, Justin Herbert. I mean, they'll be lamenting that in Miami. Dante Culpepper instead of Drew Brees. They'll be lamenting Tua Tagovailoa instead of Justin Herbert. Wait a minute. Did they take Tua before Herbert? Right? Herbert was available to them at that time. Wasn't he available at 5? Yeah, he was available. They will lament that for the next 20 years, I believe. I am not quitting on Tua. Just can never see him. You know, and then he gets dinged again. This kid, Herbert, it's amazing. But he's fourth on that list. That list starts with Patrick Mahomes. He's at the top of that list. 3,332 yards and 31 touchdowns in his first 10 starts. Cameron Newton, 3,296 yards, 21 touchdowns. Deshaun Watson, 3,257, 28. Justin Herbert, exactly 3,200 yards, almost exclusively through the air, although he runs a little bit. 3,200 yards and 26 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts, he needs 188 yards and 2 touchdowns. Get on that list. Tell me, don't lie to me and tell me you've been thinking about Jalen Hurts that way. Beat the Big Dog follows Steve in Beat the Big Dog. One caller will go head-to-head with me on 6 games against the spread. You will get your advice from Coach Grizz on these games. I think he is either at 500 or over 500 now. He's between you guys and me. If you beat me, we're going to hook you up with some chow. And you've got me the past 2 weeks. I do keep track of every pick for the season to see if you guys can beat me on the season total. The listeners have won the season total twice in 13 years. Now, I got off to a hot start. You did not. I am 22-14 at the halfway point of the college football season and the quarter point of the NFL season. And that's against the spread, 61% or so. You guys are 15-21.
I can assure you that the gap is closing.
It is. It's closed by 2 games in the last 2 weeks. Last 2 weeks I went 2-4. I've been a loser for 2 weeks, and you guys have been 3-3. And the last 2 guys went with the hug the bear mentality. They got 1 game opposite me, and they picked the right game to go opposite me. Last week it was Kentucky and LSU that bit me in the rectum. Huge game in the NLDS tonight. A deciding Game 5 in San Francisco between the Giants and the Dodgers. We will have that game right after the Nick Saban show. That game won't go first pitch till 8:05. Saban will be done at 8, so we'll have that for you tonight. It's really hard to watch baseball and football together. This is going to be difficult tonight because it's so hard. I watch a lot of baseball in the summer. I can watch a baseball game. It's on over there. I'm doing different things. I can watch a baseball game. But one football and, my God, hockey or basketball, forget about it. Forget about it. When you get to football, when you get to the fast-paced sports and then switch over to the baseball game and the pitcher's scratching his stones and twirling the ball in his hand and the batter's fixing his batting gloves, I can't do it. It's so hard. And I really want to watch this Bucks-Eagles game. And speaking of hockey, the Predators open tonight. They got the Kraken in Bridgestone Arena. Speaking of hockey, I did watch a decent amount of last night's TNT debut on hockey, which is basically NBC and NBCSN's coverage. I mean, that's basically what you got there. The number 1 team on the first game, Kenny Albert and Eddie Olczyk, with Keith Jones between the benches. Those are all NBC guys. Liam McHugh is hosting the studio, another NBC guy. Anson Carter was in studio, former goaltender, NBC guy. Also in studio with him was Rick Tocchet, Paul Bissonnetti, and the great one, Wayne Gretzky. They spent way too much time talking about Gretzky. We get it. We know he's the GOAT. I know what they're thinking. They're thinking they're talking to the great unwashed, non-hockey fans. Well, who watches hockey? For the most part, hockey fans. It's just the way it is. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is. When people saw that the hockey was on the TNT, they clicked in there and they'd like, I'm not a hockey fan, so they don't want. I don't know why. It wasn't like a football game to watch. There wasn't a baseball game to watch. I don't know why you people are so negative about it sometimes. But they spent way too much time talking about Gretzky. It was Gretzky. We get it. He's the GOAT. It got to the point where Wayne was a bit embarrassed and said, enough about me, let's get to the games. And then they had Charles Barkley. He showed up. He was a hit. Bissonnetti, though, who nobody knows, was the biggest hit of the panel last night. This guy's going to be good. Nobody knows Paul Bissonnetti. He was an AHL player. He played in the NHL. Was not a great player, but he's good. He's really good. They are trying to force an NBA Tonight feel into that pregame, and they just don't have those kind of personalities. There's no Shaq. There's no Chuck. There's no even Kenny the Jet. You just don't look. The NHL is not the NBA. Hockey is not hoop. It's just a different vibe. They'll settle in. They'll get going. Preds open tonight with the Kraken at Bridgestone Arena. Havoc get it going tomorrow night. It'll be on Zone 4. Of course, you can watch it as well. If you go to HuntsvilleHavoc.com, you'll be able to watch it there on there. I'll be on the call for that as well, but you can watch it on their video feed. Over there in that little glass room, playing the Platters That Matter and the Stacks of Wax and keeping us on the air, and I would think is pretty interested in tonight's game in the NLDS to see who the Braves' opponent will be. It's Coach Grizz.
Who in the blue hell are you? What is your name? It doesn't matter what your name is.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
I think this is one of the traits of a really good producer. Keep the talent happy.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Now, Tom. Hey, Tom.
Testosterone high today. Testosterone, whatever the it is.
It really doesn't matter what you think. All right? It really doesn't matter what you say.
Any of you play sports?
You don't have a remote. You only have one thing that you can watch.
Yeah.
Are you watching the NLDS or are you watching Bucks and Eagles?
Bucks and Eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I love baseball, and I'll watch baseball. I mean, I'm probably going to watch everything going forward for the Braves, obviously.
Oh,
I'm going to be watching, even if the Braves don't get to it, I'll still watch, I'll probably watch, if not all of the World Series. When I say that I'm going to watch, this game tonight, or if I'm going to watch hockey this week, or if I'm going to watch football, or if I'm going to watch NLDS, I'm definitely watching football. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you got to have a backup thing tonight, right? So I would admit during commercials, halftime, things like that, you go over and you check the baseball game.
Oh,
and
yeah,
if something
definitely.
compelling is going on, you stay there. If the guy's not scratching his nuts or something, you stay there with the game for a little bit.
I even like the pregame of the football games a lot of times. I like watching some of the pregame shows.
Some of them, I agree with you.
Yeah, some of them are good. These Thursday night ones, they're not great because of the NFL Network. I don't think the NFL Network's that great. I think it's when they...
I never watch it.
Yeah, I know, right?
Not a game night, I never watch it. I watch it during the week.
Yeah. I never watch their shows, Get Up This Morning or whatever it's called and all that stuff. I never really watch that stuff. So, I'm into the pregame shows that ESPN has, before every Sunday morning with fantasy and other things like that. And then I'm really into, when Monday night has their show right before that. I mean, it's just, and Sunday night too, especially. It just is a better show. And NFL Network tries so hard to stay, with that coverage. They do a great coverage. They got a lot of great, list of people that talk about a lot of things on there. But I think when I want to watch something, I'm so hooked when ESPN or Fox is definitely hosting the game.
There are 2 college games tonight. I will say that. Navy is at Memphis. That might be moderately interesting. That's on the ESPN. That might be worth.
That probably will get. I'm sure I'll throw that over. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll get a peek. And then on ESPNU, Georgia Southern against South Alabama. So the Jags are on tonight.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Did you see the video of the guy that was standing in front of the cannon that they shoot?
No.
At Georgia Southern?
No.
Oh my God, it was amazing. The guy was a camera guy, stands right in front of the cannon.
Yeah.
And they shoot it off, and he's standing right in front of it. I swear it looked like he had a heart attack right there in front of him. I mean, his body just completely, from the shockwave, just falls to the ground, and it's the funniest. I'll have to show it to you.
I think they've already fired their coach. I miss the days of Irk Russell. I mean, Irk Russell at Georgia Southern, he started that program, and he did so. Let me tell you something. If you like sports history too, don't you? I know you're a history guy, but don't you like sports history?
Yeah.
Read the book Irk. Irk was the defensive coordinator for years of the Georgia Bulldogs, and then he became the head coach of Georgia Southern. He basically birthed that program at Georgia Southern. They did some really cool things. It's called Irk, E-R-K. It is outstanding book. You would really enjoy it. But one of the things that they would do, well, he did a couple of things. One of the things they would do is that whenever they arrived, they would go on a road game. And whenever they went on a road game, he would take the team out at like 11:30 at night to the stadium, and they would all relieve themselves in the end zone. They were like dogs marking their territory. That's what they would do. They would go and they'd all take a leak in the end zone. The other thing he did, their practice facility, he said there was no real sense of pride in any of our facilities because we really didn't have anything. We started a program. So the practice field, it had a mosquito-infested ditch that ran alongside the practice field, right? And it was just, it was just nasty. It was nasty. It had water in it that was stagnant, mosquitoes, and everything else. Well, Irk named it like, the River Eagle or whatever it is. They're the Eagles, So he named it the Eagle River or something like that.
Yeah.
And then what he did before they went on their first game, he went over there with a mason jar, and he scooped up water from the ditch, the mosquito-infested ditch, and he put it in a mason jar, and they kept the water with them everywhere they went. They would we're taking a little bit of us on the road with us. I mean, he did stuff like that. Let me tell you something. Read the book. The book is called Irk. Yeah, because you coached a little bit in the past.
Some coaches need to do that to some of their players.
Yeah.
They need a little bit of that. They need a little bit of history, or they need a little bit of that, weirdness. That weirdness. Not like Dan Mullen weird. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I
like that kind of stuff, though. Yeah. I have always been a fan of that kind of things that are motivational things. I told you the story about the tongue depressors, and how the tongue depressor would break if you have a tongue depressor, and how we had each kid write his name on a tongue depressor, and then we glued all the tongue depressors together and made like a brick of tongue depressors, and then we said, see if you can break this now, and of course nobody can break it because it's stiff, it's real strong. A tongue depressor's 8 inches, 10 inches high, and it's got everybody's name on one of the tongue depressors glued together. But individually, they snap easily, a tongue depressor,
Yeah.
And we did things like that. We burned a shoe. We would always burn the shoe on the last practice. We would burn a shoe and have the seniors get around the fire pit where we were burning a pair of old cleats, and they would tell stories of what football meant to them, and there wouldn't be a dry eye on the field. I was always into...
Kids these days would make fun of you for that.
No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't.
I don't think kids these days are burning shoes and crying around each other.
You could do that. No, you know what?
You'd get ragged on. Have you seen a Call of Duty lobby?
No. Let me tell you something. They burned the shoe 3 years ago at my son's high school.
Yeah.
Because I had told the head coach about it.
Yeah.
And he thought it was fantastic. They burned the shoe at the end of practice. This is just 3 years ago. And they had the kids tell stories. Every kid on the field was crying. I mean, it was extremely emotional. Extremely emotional, and they played very well. Got beat that last game, but that's they got beat most games.
No, there's stuff I cherish. I mean, there's stuff in wrestling that the special things that we held on to, the Hulk Hogan figurine that we always had. No, it was like literally, it was like an old school Hulk Hogan figurine that we were given to.
Really?
Put it in the middle of the mat. Has a story behind it. I'll talk about that later. But it's great. It's just something special. It's just all the times being together and being that certain senior that got to carry that toy was truly special.
I wrestled on a very good wrestling team, a City Catholic Championship wrestling team, and I just don't remember any of that stuff. We didn't. All I remember about our wrestling team is back then. Now we're talking about 1977, 1978.
Yeah.
Back then, we wore the tights under the singlet. You had your wrestling.
Yeah. I never wore tights under my singlet.
We had it was part of our uniform.
Oh, okay.
Our singlet was black and our tights were blue.
Okay.
And they were.
We didn't have a uniform.
Blue.
We just got whatever hand-me-down singlet we had.
Oh, you didn't have.
You
didn't have a Grissom wrestling uniform?
Yeah, we did. Well, I mean, like we had like our warm-ups, like with the jacket and the pants and everything like that.
You didn't have a thing with the G on the chest on a singlet, a team singlet.
No, the singlet. Yeah, we had brown, we had orange, and they all had G's on the leg. But
okay. So you had a uniform.
But what I mean is like a lot of times it was like if you were a starter, you got a certain color. So like coach always made it to like a thing to like if you want to wear this color, or if you want to.
That's
like,
cool.
You know what I mean? It was like
we didn't have that.
Who you were.
We wore black.
It wasn't like a knock on you. It was like for you to like get better, basically. And it's like I want to strive to wear that color.
Yeah, no, we didn't have that. We just had a black singlet and a powder blue tights. But what we had were robes. We didn't have the jacket. We had the robes, and the robes with the hood.
Oh, yeah.
We had boxing robes. We had long boxing robes.
Sorry to speak bad, but we hate Vestavia for that. We despise the robes. You people in the robes.
Are they good? Vestavia?
Were they
good?
Oh, they're always good.
There you go.
They're always good.
There you go. We had the robes.
Grissom's good, but we don't wear robes.
We had the robe up.
We can't afford them.
You had the hoodie up on the robe. And we had the robes. The robes are cool.
We're over here paying for half our stuff. We can't afford robes.
By the way, there's a couple of decent, watchable college football games tomorrow as well. Clemson is at Syracuse. Remember, they got bit by Syracuse a few years ago there. And Clemson's not nearly as great as they have been. Syracuse is improving. That game is on ESPN, followed by Cal at Oregon. Oregon's still a top 10 team right now. So, I mean, you got Clemson, Syracuse, Cal, Oregon, double dip on ESPN tomorrow night. So I just throw that out there as well. All right, let's get a break. When we come back, it's the TOC Sports Prep Preview with Tom Perkins of TOC. He's next right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Simple Green is perfect for making your auto, RV, cycling, boating, and other sporting equipment look like new. Visit them at simplegreen.com.
Thursday night football, Tom Brady and the Bucs on the road facing Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. Tampa Bay a 6.5-point favorite in Philadelphia, over under 52.5. Final game of the divisional round, Game 5 of the NLDS. The Dodgers at the Giants. This game a pick'em. Both teams coming in at -110 on the money line. The over-under 7. The winner moves on to face the Braves in the NLCS. Astros and Red Sox will play Game 1 of the ALCS tomorrow. Who will win the 2021-22 NBA MVP? Luka Doncic, the early favorite, +400. Giannis Antetokounmpo at +650. Followed by Joel Embiid, Steph Curry, and Kevin Durant, each at +700.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
Sitting here with Ann Adams of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Rise Real Estate. Is it a good time to sell your home, Ann?
Yes, it is. We have people relocating from all over the country.
Why should we choose Rise Real Estate?
Well, we've been selling real estate in North Alabama for 36 years and have sold more real estate than any other real estate company, period.
Do you help your customers through the entire process?
Yes, our agents are with you during the whole process from start to finish, from beginning to end.
In your relocation services, you have a whole team.
Yes, we have a dedicated relocation department helping customers move seamlessly into the area.
Ann Adams has been writing contracts for the last 36 years. She has the experience to help you list and sell your home, downsize your home, or help pick the perfect spot north of Alabama for you to build a future.
Call Ann Adams at 256-337-2625 or on the web at www.bhhsriserealestate.com.
Drinking coffee straight from the pot. Power move. Wearing a bathrobe to work. Power move. Switching to super fast, extra reliable internet from WOW. Power move. Switch and save with WOW internet for just $19.99 a month. It's switching season, so make a move with our best deal of the year. For a limited time, get Internet 100 with no contracts for just $19.99 a month. Plus, get a 2-year price lock and the first month free. Make the switch at wowway.com today. Wow. Limited to new customers with autopay and paperless billing. Offer subject to change. Restrictions and terms apply.
Valley Equipment Rental. Pretty self-explanatory name, no? Thom Abraham here. And look, Valley Equipment Rental is all over the Tennessee Valley. And they rent equipment. All kinds of equipment. And not just to the contractors out there, but to you, the general public as well. Need a skid steer or an excavator? Well, they've got over 40 units to make sure they've got one for you. From huge boom lifts to miscellaneous hand tools, it's at Valley Equipment Rental on the South Parkway. And soon, they'll have a second location to handle even more equipment. More on that to come.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly to mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the lower 80s, dropping into the mid-upper 60s as we head into the overnight. A mostly cloudy sky for your Friday afternoon. Overall, it's not going to be that bad. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid-80s, but we are talking about a fairly healthy opportunity for some rain that'll begin to move into the Tennessee Valley through Friday evening, the overnight, and then potentially through the first half of the day on Saturday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now, more of the Thom Abraham Show on your home for Crimson Tide Sports, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Roll Tide.
Segment of the show is brought to you by TOC Sports. Every Friday night, they have the Friday Night After Hours Clinic. Plus, not just for sports injuries, any kind of injuries. You got something going on with that elbow or that shoulder or that knee is bothering you, and you go to your doc, and your doc says, you probably should go to an orthopedic. Let me send you. No, just stop him right there and just send me to TOC. He's probably going to do that anyway, but just tell him who you want to see. You can give him a doc's name, or you can just say, send me to TOC, and that's what they will do. All right, joining us now for the TOC Sports Prep Preview is Tom Perkins of TOC. Tommy, welcome back. How are you?
I'm well, sir. How are you? How was your fall break, or did you get one?
I didn't get no stinking fall break. I did have a Bassmaster obligation last week, which took me out for Thursday and Friday, and got to spend those 2 days down on Smith Lake, which Lewis Smith Lake. I had never been there before, and it is a It's a beautiful lake. There's no doubt. It was like fishing at Disney World with all the waterfalls and all the things that they got there. It was very, very tough fishing. I ended up 71st out of 165 guys, but it was when you're getting paid to hang out with a bunch of bass pros, it doesn't suck.
No, it doesn't suck. It doesn't. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't Smith Lake best known for smallmouth bass?
Spotted bass. Yeah, the spots. Yeah, the spotted bass is the big thing and you were thinking right, just wrong species. Yeah, spotted bass are the thing there, and they are a fun fish to catch. They can be fickle. You know what I mean? They can be kind of fickle type of fish. I like the fact that here on your picture today, on the video version of the show, that you are in front of Mr. and Mrs. Chaos, I think that is, possibly, at a Havoc game in the TOC Sports Ice Suite, which is really cool. And you seem to be very happy to be at the Havoc game. And with the Havoc opening tomorrow night, you guys got to be fired up about that.
Every time Chaos and Ruckus come around, I am starstruck. I mean, you're talking about two of the most popular figures with this organization, going around doing the PR thing, scratching heads and giving hugs. And, it's hard not to get starstruck. Heck, I think it's kind of neat that I have Glenn DiTullio's phone number in my contacts, know? But that's what's so great about this organization. That's what's so great about this team. They're so approachable. They're so community connected, just like we are. And, man, we could not be more excited about tomorrow night. It's a magnetic schedule giveaway sponsored by Huntsville Hospital Sports Center and TOC Sports. And we are just thrilled to be ready to kick this off. We went to the open house on Sunday, this past Sunday, and look, if that crowd is any indication of what this opening crowd is capable of being in terms of numbers, it will be a sellout and one of the loudest atmospheres we'll ever have. And I'm telling you, they are hungry and hungry and hungry for some hockey.
And it doesn't hurt to have Birmingham in, because that is a budding rivalry. I mean, there's no doubt anything. It's Huntsville and Birmingham and Tiddlywinks. It becomes a rivalry. So that's going to be good with the Bulls in town. I will be on the broadcast of the game. It will be on Zone 4, one of our many streams that we offer, one of our many channels that we offer here at 97.7 ESPN The Zone. But I will be on the game. Steve's doing a high school football game, the Madison Academy game down in New Hope. So the game falls into my lap, and so I'll be doing it, and I'm looking forward to it because I've been doing Bulls games for the last 3 years. I gave that up this year. And it'll be nice to get back to a place where, I did their games right at the very beginning. In fact, I did the very last game of the Channel Cats. I did the last Huntsville Channel Cats game. Wow. It was my first game was the championship game against the Knoxville Ice Bears with the Huntsville Channel Cats. And then the next year I was doing Havoc games, and then I did them. Remember Dennis Putzka? I did them with Dennis Putzka back in the day, as well. So I've got a history with them, and I'm excited about being there tomorrow. So maybe I assume you're going to be there, or are you going to be at a high school football game? Yeah. So we need to find each other at some point in time. I'll be way up in the birdcage up top.
Oh, well, I call that section double Q, I think it is.
Yeah.
No, we'll be out front. We'll have our table set up to
really
greet all the season ticket holders and all the fans and everybody coming through. We'll be out front. We'll have a table, and so come on by and see us. We'll be excited to see all the fans. We know some familiar faces, and of course, a lot of those folks know our physicians' faces, and it's just nice to hear everybody come by and share a good, positive story, and man, and just love talking hockey.
Yeah.
And just really excited to share in this because the Havoc. The Havoc have just been something different, and they've just meant something a little bit more to this city. And it doesn't. The Havoc crossed so many county lines. It says Huntsville, but everybody knows that these guys really represent everybody in the North Alabama area, and I think that's why they're loved so much.
The staying power is amazing. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, what are they, 15 years old now, something like that? I mean,
17
years old. These teams, they come and go. And I'm really excited that the SPHL, after kind of a truncated 5-team league last year, I remember the very first year, I think we had 4 teams or 6 teams, something like that. But the league had grown. But this year we're back to full on, even add another team in there. But 11 teams in the SPHL this year. So seeing some different faces is going to be cool. And I'm looking forward to a full season with full crowds. Nothing draws. The Havoc have led this league almost every year probably in attendance. Nothing draws like the Havoc.
No, nothing does. And you will learn who the Vermilion County Bobcats are. The newest group to the SPHL. They're out of Illinois. So this league is growing by leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
And I see a split conference coming very soon. The more teams.
One more team, and we need to have 2 divisions. One more team.
6 would be great. I think 6 and 6 would be great. North and South, I think it'd be great.
Yeah, good stuff. There was some. Can you believe that it's week 8 of the high school football season already? I mean, this thing, we started talking about it, and it's like, okay, 3 games left. I mean, this is absolutely nuts how fast the high school football season has gone by.
Every year, I say it every year. I think when you and I started this early in mid August, as we were approaching Labor Day,
right?
I said once we hit September, I promise it will be halfway. We'll be through September before you know it, and this thing will be on its last little hill to climb before the playoff run. And here we are. I mean, it's just how quickly the season can roll along with so many good games, so much excitement, and I mean, we've got some doozies coming up this week.
Yeah, well, Gio Lopez and James Clemens, how about them? They got the 31-13 win over Grissom last week. Lopez has been outstanding really all season long, and now they've got a chance to go ahead and lock up the region. It'll be the 3rd time in 4 years that they can lock up the region, and they're going to do it against Sparkman. And I honestly don't know what happened. I couldn't believe that Florence beat Sparkman like 41-0 last week. I don't know what happened there.
Me too. I saw that score and my jaw dropped. That made absolutely zero sense to me. I mean, to lose, okay, but to get shut out and make it seem as if y'all didn't even show up, that just didn't seem right.
That's why I wondered if they had kids out, or if they had kids hurt, or if they had kids suspended. I mean, a score, you see 42-0, you think, oh God, they didn't play. They were missing 9 kids or something. That's how crazy it looked.
They had to play the freshman team or something like that. Yeah, it didn't calculate. I can't speak to some of the reasons behind it, but that I'm not sure what that even told me. Sparkman is still 3-2 in the region in 4th place. This would be a monumental win, not just for their season, but for their playoff lives if they still exist. A huge blow to James Clemens, but even with it being at Sparkman, which is always a testy place to play, you're talking about just too many horses in the stable for the Jets, and these guys are they're on a mission, and step 1 is finish out the region. Step 2 is probably finish undefeated, and step 3 is secure that playoff run. So I think this is just another speed bump on the Jets, fast track straight to the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, and they can also, if they win this game, it'll be their 9th consecutive win, which really says a lot, for the team. It would be a record for them. They a couple of years ago, they started the season out, I think, or they finished the season with 8 straight wins and then won a playoff game. But Chad McGahee, the head coach there, what a great job in his first year over there, and now a chance to not only win the region, but tie a school record with 9 consecutive wins. So he's done a tremendous job.
Yeah, testament to what he has adjusted to. He clearly had some good talent to work with. Now, understandably, this game last year was a barn burner. I get it.
Yeah.
But a lot of kids have had a lot of nights sleep since then, and it seems like we're talking about two different teams on two different tracks. But yeah, kudos to Coach for really just picking up the reins and leading this team to another successful run.
Yeah. Bob Jones with a nice win last week against Albertville, going out and cruising to a 62-21 win. And, again, they've got themselves an opportunity this upcoming week to do some more damage, and we'll see what they can do. But, they're having a pretty nice season over there at Bob Jones.
Yeah, they have shown a lot of grit. They've shown a lot of fortitude, a lot of determination. It's becoming a lot more difficult to be Bob Jones in the shadow of James Clement.
Which is a role reversal, that is a huge role reversal, yeah.
You're 10 years ago, it was Bob Jones and Bob Jones only. You pick a sport and they were dominating it, even football to an extent. You had basketball, softball. You go all the way, soccer. And now things have just split. Madison has grown. The city is in many ways divided, if you will, between these two schools, and we've seen a massive paradigm shift over to the western part of the city. So I think now for Bob Jones, the challenge is to be successful, but in a way, try to rise above the shadow that is James Clemens. Now, they're not making it easy on the Patriots, having the amazing successful run that they're having this year, coupled with the runs that they've had previous years, and of course their run in the rivalry. But adversity says a lot, and right now, Bob Jones has shown on the field that they have some pieces to work with, and there's things that are in place that I believe Coach White can and will continue to put together in the right place.
Yeah.
He'll have to work a little bit harder. You don't get the funnel of kids. You don't get all the kids anymore. You only get this area of kids. So it all goes back to relationships and recognizing the young talent, getting them involved, getting them learning the sport, and these kids, as much as we like, don't grow on trees as much anymore. So you really got to nurture, you really got to coach, and you really got to develop these kids. And it's a little bit harder for Coach White now, but I think that's the challenge of it now. And he's really exemplified that his kids have a lot of grit, determination. The close game with Huntsville, the close game with James Clemens. All that. That says something that you've got to fight. Fight for the win. Even if you lose, you show the fight, and that's something to work with.
Yeah. And Grissom, I don't know. It's year in and year out. Coach English had it going there for a minute. They're up against it this week against Bob Jones. I don't know if they win. Then they got Florence next, and I think Hazel Green to finish with. And I just keep. It's something that Grizz can speak to more than I can because he's a Grissom alum, as is Smokey Mike as well. But two Grissom guys. Smokey Mike used to win back in the day. He was a very good player at Grissom. They won a little bit back in his time there, but man, it just seems like you just can't get it going at Grissom, and I don't know what the answer is there.
I don't know either. I can't help but think it goes back to what kind of kids are coming up, what kind of kids what kind of athletes are the young kids becoming? Are they more inclined to play baseball? Is it more basketball? Is it football? When you start struggling year in, year out,
It's a culture change. Yeah, that's the big thing. It's trying to change the culture there. Grizz, when you see the kids, you've been to every Grissom game. When you see it, do you feel like there's a big disparity in talent, or is there something else that seems to be plaguing Grissom?
I mean, talent or not, Grissom's always a competitive team. They always have a competitive defense. The offense may not be the flashiest in the world, but compared to what I see, there's tons of talent all over the board. Hold on one second.
He hates when he has to. All you got to do is reach over and put it on hold. I mean, you have to take the call. All you got to do is reach over and put it on hold.
Tom, I've talked to enough coaches
to
know that there's some really, really talented coaches out there. You know, Chip English is a fantastic coach.
Yeah.
He's struggling in Albertville because he just doesn't have the players.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's going to get all the players he wants all the time, as much as he wants to, as much as the other coaches do. So I think, is every coach a gem? No. But I think there are a lot more good coaches coaching than there are enough good players on teams.
Yeah. Thom Perkins has been our guest. Thom, I appreciate you so much. I will see you tomorrow night at the Havoc game, my friend.
Yes, please come by and say hello. We'd love to see you and the missus.
I'll see you no, she won't be there tomorrow, but I will see you at the tent out front. I'll come by to town. I'll be over there early anyway, and I want to make sure everything is set up. I'm anal when it comes to these broadcasts, and I want to make sure everything is right. Yeah.
Me too. I'm going to get there early and make sure everything is set and ready. So come by, and I got some swag for you.
There, hey! I'm always up for swag. You know that. All right. Let me get we're going to break it.
I appreciate it.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. We're going to break. We'll come back and wrap up hour number 1 next, right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now, and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
AVIQ. Who is AVIQ? AVIQ is audiovisual the intelligent way, where we put our IQ to work for your AV needs. With more than 100 years combined experience in audio, video, and automation, our team of experts is dedicated to one thing: helping you discover technological solutions that make your home special. Once you experience a game or a movie on one of our state-of-the-art home theater systems, you may never leave the house again. AVIQ can build the entire system for you or provide the quality components if you're a do-it-yourselfer. But AVIQ is more than just home theater and state-of-the-art sound systems. We offer a variety of control options for home technology. Energy efficiency, heightened security, and improved quality of life are all attainable through the automation of home systems. Intuitive and user-friendly control is our main priority in designing a system that meets your needs. Don't just take our word for it. You need to see it to believe it. Come visit us at our state-of-the-art showroom on University, just east of Jim and Nick's, across from AT&T, or visit aviqhsv.com.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked the reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Orange is the color power of construction, the color of Kubota and Huntsville Tractor and Equipment. Those who need to get things done trust Kubota's mini excavators, compact track loaders, and the best keeps getting better with the all-new mini compact loader from one of the top dealers in the country. More than 50 years of family service, every part in the book, and folks who know what to do with them. You'll be seeing orange with Huntsville Tractor and Equipment.
Come on, let's go to work.
You know, there are some really interesting games this week, especially in the SEC. And when we get to beat the big dog, which will be on the other side of Steve Merril. I want you to hear the Steve Merril reaction to some of the games that we're talking about here. Then you can jump in. But, man, the Auburn-Arkansas game is fascinating. Auburn's a 4.5-point dog in that game at Arkansas. This Kentucky Georgia game is very, very interesting, and a lot of the handicappers are taking Kentucky with the 22.5 points. Not to win the game, but it's 22.5 points. And a lot of people feel like, you know, folks are sleeping on Kentucky. Ole Miss and Tennessee. I mean, is Tennessee fan over the whole Lane Kiffin thing yet? I mean, they're still writing articles about how Lane Kiffin left. Are they over it yet or not? Maybe not.
I don't think so. With the car incident and all the stuff that they're, you know, throwing around on Twitter.
Has he been back there? He hasn't been back there as a head coach. He was back there with Alabama. He has not been back there as a head coach. So there's a lot to that part of the story. Everybody I have seen is picking Tennessee, by the way. Everybody picking Tennessee in a game that's 2.5 points. Ole Miss is the favorite there. A couple of interesting NFL games as well. So anyway, we'll get into all of that with Steve Merril next. Right here on the Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Explore the culture of craft at Liquor Express and Craft Beer Store, offering over 800 artisanal wines, 1,000 craft beers including 105 rotating taps, and an extensive array of spirits featuring highly collectible bourbons. Come enjoy our craft beer and whiskey bar featuring draft, wines by the glass, or specialty cocktails. Ask about party planning and discounts. Wine case deals are available. Check our social media for upcoming events. We strive to be the cleanest store in town. That Liquor Express and Craft Beer Store, 1812 University Drive, Huntsville.
Looking for a great deal? Well, I've got one for you. Thom Abraham here for Valley Equipment Rental. And at Valley Equipment, if you rent after 3 on a Friday or on a Saturday morning, you're not due back until Monday morning. So basically, you're getting the entire weekend for the price of one day. And if you're in the service or are a vet, they'll knock another 10% off. Valley Equipment is locally owned and involved in our community through charities and even supporting local teams. And soon, they'll have a second location to handle even more equipment. Stay tuned for info on where that will be and when it will open.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, Managing Partner at University Kia, here letting you know we are proud supporters of Madison Academy football. Stop into the University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including the all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com to view all our great offers and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today, because we want to see you in a Kia. Go Mustangs!
Guys, when we were 20, we never had to worry about spontaneity. And now that we've gotten older, spontaneity has been replaced with pills and injections. We're just trying to keep that intimacy, but it's taken away from spontaneity. At Advanced Life Clinic, we now offer GainsWave, which uses sound waves to non-invasively treat this issue with no need for pills or injections. Just give us a call, 256-888-9367, or check us out online, advancedlifeclinic.com.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Protecting your family is a priority. Smoke and carbon monoxide detectors are two of the best life-saving investments for the safety of your home and your family. But they do actually expire. The expert electricians at Mr. Sparky will test and advise or install the best unit for your home. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-Sparky.
Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi with what you need to know. The baseball spotlight on the West Coast, where a pair of teams whose rivalry is over 100 years old meet in a winner-take-all matchup tonight. Giants host the Dodgers in Game 5 of their National League Division Series. Our coverage starts at 8:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Logan Webb, Julio Urias on the hill. Braves await the winner in the NLCS. A trio of Buccaneers starters sidelined by injury tonight against the Eagles, the opening game of week 6 of the NFL season. Tight end Rob Gronkowski, linebacker Levante David, safety Antoine Winfield Jr. all out. Tampa Bay QB Tom Brady dealing with an injured thumb, but he said he doesn't think it'll be a big deal. The Washington football team will retire late safety Sean Taylor's number 21 jersey before Sunday's home game against the Chiefs. He'll be only the third player in franchise history to have his number retired.
Football season is here.
It is in the air. It has lifted. It's good!
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live. Here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Get off my
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show. Glad that you are with us today, and we are efforting our friend Steve Merril. We'll see if that happens. If not, phone lines are open in any event. 256-576-4977 will get you in. 256-576-4977. And lot going on, as I said, this weekend in the SEC. And, you could take a look at what's going on the rest of the way in the SEC and try to anticipate what might happen from here. I mean, we now that we're at the halfway point, you kind of look at what does the next 6 weeks, what does the next 6 weeks, I don't know. What does the next 6 weeks have in store? 6 games, I should say. All the buys kicking in and everything. What does the next 6 weeks have in store for the SEC? When it comes to Alabama, they're going to be double-digit favorites in all of these games. State isn't going to be an easy game, and Auburn is Auburn. Arkansas is going to be a tough game, but that's at home. So you got State, got Auburn at Auburn. You got Arkansas at home. Double-digit favorites in all of those games. It's hard. You can't, from a prediction standpoint, you can't say that this is going to be anything other than an 11-1 team, which wins the West. So, you could have all of these different numbers and projections and the data and 52% of making a playoff and 56, but it's hard not to put them in Atlanta. Arkansas, Arkansas still has an opportunity to be an 8-4 kind of team. The swing game for Arkansas is going to be that game at home against Auburn. Auburn seems to be in the middle of all of this stuff. If they beat Auburn, they're a 9-3 team. They're that kind of a team. And then you look at Auburn from where they are right now at 4-2. All of a sudden, that A&M game looks more difficult. They're a dog against Arkansas. They're going to be, in the Ole Miss game, they're going to be a dog against Ole Miss. They can be 8-4. They can be 6-6. Let me go to the line. Scott is up.
Hi,
hey,
Scott. And I'm here in Huntsville. Yeah. And I've been listening about all this stuff about Alabama and Nick Saban. He's terrible now, and everything is dying. And you know something? Everybody just needs to shut up. The guy's brought 6 national titles to Alabama. The guy has turned around a program that I think about 17 years ago was on its deathbed. I'm just getting sick and tired every time we lose a game. All of a sudden, everything's terrible and bad. No, it's not.
Well, okay? And they lose a game more years than not over the 12, 13-year run that Saban has had this team on. 4 of the 6 national championships, they had a loss during the season. You're going to lose a game. It's going to happen along the way. There are things that are concerning only because you look at it and you say, and the standard is just so ridiculously high. It's a different standard than anybody else. But you look at it and you say, why is this defense that everybody said was going to be the best defense in 10 years, why is this defense playing the way they're playing? Why do they miss tackles? Why are they out of position? We haven't seen that in the past. So I think that's the surprise. It's like, damn, you don't see Alabama have blown coverages like this team seems to have at times. But they'll be fine.
At times they do. Yeah. But you know something? I come from Colorado, and I'd like to tell these folks, I can remember living in Boulder, and we won 7 games in a season. We threw a party for 2 days because that meant we were going to some crap garbage bowl.
Yeah.
There's a reality to the situation, and Alabama's going to be fine. Saban's going to figure it out. The defense is going to sort itself out, and we may not win the national title, but they're going to finish strong. And we can't win the title every year. It's just sometimes I think we feel a little too entitled here at Alabama.
Extremely.
And, you got Georgia breathing down Nick Saban's throat, too.
Yeah, extremely spoiled because of the success that they've had. And look, I said it earlier in the week. Let's be honest. You look at this offensive 11. Someday we'll look back at the talent that was in the house from 2017 to 2020, and we'll say, goodness gracious, you look at this offensive 11, and this is a really good football team. This is a football team that is better than just about every team in the country. But you look at the offensive 11, and I'm telling you, outside of Evan Neal, none of these guys start on the teams that Alabama had the last 3 or 4 years. None of them.
That's true.
Yeah. So, but that's,
you know what?
Who has that kind of team,
Exactly. And every year we're expected, okay, we're going to go 12-0, win the national title. They have no idea what it goes through to recruit, get kids in, and then you got programs like Georgia getting better, even Tennessee's getting better. It's no longer a cakewalk. And this is the SEC, folks. Yeah. This isn't like the MAC or the Mountain West. This is top-line football. So I just wanted to say, everybody needs to chill out. We're going to be fine.
Yeah. It's a good call. Appreciate the call.
All right,
good job, Scott. Thank you. And look, that's why I say about Cincinnati, and you can say what you want, and I understand that they have an excellent position to get into the playoff and be a top 4 team and everything else. But when I talk about the grind of the Big Ten and the grind of the SEC, if Cincinnati had to play Florida and Ole Miss and then go to College Station and then go to Mississippi State, then come back and play Tennessee and then play LSU and then play Arkansas and play Auburn, you don't think they drop a couple of games? That's the Alabama schedule. You don't think they'd drop a couple of games doing that? Playing a conference schedule like that? I mean, come on. But it is what it is. All right. Joining us now from Pro Sports Info, guy that understands all of this stuff. He's on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, Steve Merril. Steve, welcome in. How are you?
Hey, Tom. Doing well.
You hear from our last caller there. The angst in the state of Alabama amongst many fans has been whether or not Alabama can get, bowl eligible now. Is there a sixth win on the schedule somewhere? Can they get bowl eligible? Because clearly this is the worst team that we've ever seen in the history of football because they went and lost as a 17-point favorite to A&M.
Yeah, they lost, keep in mind, to the team that just missed the playoffs last year. A&M was probably the fifth team out of four, right? So
right.
The reason, it looks a little worse, I guess, on the surface is because A&M had struggled this year. But,
right.
Maybe they woke up, and we'll see. They play a Missouri team, and everyone thinks it's a letdown spot this week. I actually did a video clip on WagerTalk.com yesterday. You can find it on my Twitter handle right now at Steve Merril, 2Rs1L. And I talk about, I don't necessarily think it's a flat spot for A&M. Maybe that was the breakout game for him. And Missouri cannot stop anybody defensively. So, the best thing for Alabama fans would be for A&M to go out there and rout Missouri, and that makes that loss not as bad.
Well, and the fact is that nobody saw this coming from Zach Calzada. I mean, this is a guy that was the backup quarterback that they barely struggled to beat to Colorado with on the road, and then they come back and they get beat. They get beat by Arkansas. They get beat by State in their own building. And I remember saying that there's just no way that kid can beat Alabama, and he went out and he played lights out. He also was a beneficiary of some interesting defensive calls from Alabama. Hard to blame the offense too much. You scored 38 points. You're supposed to win a football game when you scored 38 points. But some of the stuff that they did defensively was head scratching. But there is an interesting stat out there. Alabama has now lost 4 straight games when they turned the ball over twice. So it's not +2 or -2 in this case, not being -2, just 2 turnovers. If Alabama turns the ball over twice, they've lost 4 straight games. There are no trends that you can find for Alabama losing 4 straight games because they just don't do that. But they've lost the last 4 games that they've turned the ball over twice, which tells you that the defense isn't able to step up, and stop a team immediately after a sudden change.
Yeah, I mean, turnovers really dictate a lot, obviously, in football, but the fact that they hardly ever even turn it over twice is just insane and shows how good they are. I'm not going to read too much into it. Obviously, they run the table here, and they get to that game against Georgia. The question becomes, if they lose a second game, to Georgia, who I think is the best team in the country. I said that a week ago when they both won. I thought Georgia was the number 1 team. I thought Bama was number 2. We'll see how it plays out. I think Alabama more than likely still gets in at this point.
They don't get in with a loss to Georgia, though. They really have to run the table.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah. The look ahead that I saw for a neutral site, Alabama-Georgia game, is Georgia's a 4-point favorite, which I thought was interesting. Alabama has been a favorite in something like, 100 of the last 101 games or something like that. The last time they were a dog was against Georgia, and they whacked them, but right now, Georgia would be about a 4-point favorite over Alabama. That's what makes the Georgia-Kentucky game very intriguing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they probably don't get in with 2 losses. So there's about a 40% chance, 35% chance they win the Georgia game, then they're in. Because I don't think they lose another regular season game, although they might. But you could there's definitely some scenarios where they could get in with 2. It's going to be tough for people to put them in over, obviously, anybody that's undefeated. But where it gets really sticky is, do you put them in over a 1-loss Oregon team, or do you put them in over Ohio State could drop a second game. Clemson has to. They're out. So Clemson being out, Cincinnati being in is kind of a wash as far as the spots available. But I don't know. I think it's unlikely they get in with 2 losses, but it's definitely not impossible.
Yeah, they'll be double-digit favorites in the rest of their games up to the SEC championship game. So certainly a lot of meat left on that bone. The other wild card is Oklahoma. They're going to have to beat Texas again probably. And Texas had them beat in that game. That was one of my picks last week that I ended up getting stung on. I had Texas and was looking great for that entire game, and then they ended up losing it and don't even cover the thing. But, so Texas is a team Oklahoma is a team that might have to be dealt with, and what the Big Ten East does to itself. I mean, there's 4 Big Ten East teams in the top 10. Well, they're all playing each other over the last 6 weeks. Michigan State, Michigan, Ohio State, they all have to play each other. Penn State. So, does somebody survive that with less than 2 losses? Ohio State can't afford a loss. So now you got the undefeateds of Michigan State, Michigan, and Penn State. Penn State's got a loss now, so they can't afford a loss. So you might end up with a scenario where there's 2 or 3 of those teams all with a couple of losses if they get done killing each other.
Yeah, and of course the great deciding factor, of course, is the future odds. And we looked last week before Alabama lost, they were really just 2 heavy favorites, and it was Alabama and Georgia are both like 1.5 to 1, and everybody else after that was 10 to 1 or higher. So that told you what the odds makers thought as far as the strength of the teams out there. And what was interesting about that is the next 2 favorites after that were Oklahoma and Ohio State. Now you look at the odds, Georgia once again is just about even money. Alabama is now 2.5 to 1. So they go from 1.5 to 1 to 2.5 to 1. Ohio State now 7.5 to 1. They were 10 and now it's 7.5. Oklahoma, Cincinnati 20, 30 to 1. I mean, everybody after that is a long shot. And that's not because they're saying they won't make the playoffs. It's just because they don't think Cincinnati can win the thing, which I agree with probably. And Oklahoma also, to get there or when it's unlikely. But then you look at like Michigan and Iowa, they're both 40 to 1. So, according to the odds makers, Alabama's a heavy second favorite right now to win the national title. So it's definitely not over.
And a lot of people in the know would put Alabama number 2 in the country right now. I mean, the polls dropped them to 5, and I get that. But the reality is that, I don't think it's changed that Georgia and Alabama are the 2 best teams in the country. It's just, you got to put them below Iowa, and you got to put them below Cincinnati now, and you got to put them, deserving versus best is that crazy thing. Now, Iowa's another interesting study because Iowa is unbeaten. Their schedule is extremely favorable the rest of the way. Wisconsin is down; they'll have that game, and Nebraska, is feisty. But if you think you're a playoff team, you got to win that game. Wisconsin has an excellent opportunity. They will be favored in every game. They go to Indy at 12-0, and let's say play an 11-1 Ohio State and get beat there. As long as they don't get destroyed, and with that defense, I don't know if anybody can destroy them. Now you got to deal with an 11-1 Ohio State or a 12-1 Ohio State and a 12-1 Iowa. I could see a scenario where Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, and Iowa are all 12-1, and they tell Oklahoma to go pound salt and tell Cincinnati to go pound salt, take 2 from the 10 and 2 from the SEC, and let's go.
What's going to be interesting is if Cincinnati runs the table, if they figure a way not to have them in there, because they don't really want them in there.
They don't want them in there.
The NCAA tournament, we talk about it with basketball all the time. Everyone loves these Cinderella stories. They don't like it after the second round. They don't like it even after the first round. They want those 15 seeds to be gone after that second week, that first weekend. The round of 16, they don't want them anymore. And it's something I guess we're kind of overlooking with Cincinnati. They don't necessarily want them in that picture. It's going to be very hard to leave them out undefeated. There is a chance Cincinnati slips up. I don't think it happens because they're going to be pretty big favorites, maybe in their championship game when they have a real opponent. Iowa's an interesting team to talk about. My power ratings had them by 8 last week against Penn State, so I did think that line was a little low at 1.5. They win by exactly 3, but once again, a 4-1 turnover edge. The week before, when they blow out Maryland, they had a 7-0 edge. They've had an 11-1 turnover edge the last 2 weeks. This is still an offense on the season that's averaging 31.5 points on 4.5 yards per play. I mean, to put that in perspective, most of these other teams are averaging like 7.5 yards per play. So, but Iowa's great defensively, as you said, Tom. I mean, they can shut anybody down, but at some point with that subpar, it's definitely a subpar. It's not even an average offense. It is a below-average offense.
Yeah.
It's hard to me imagine they're going to end up in that top 4 scenario.
And those numbers are swollen by the fact that they scored 55 against Maryland, and Maryland ended up giving 62 up against Ohio State. So if you take that game out, all of a sudden it comes down to they're a 3-touchdown a game type of offense. I think Penn State wins that football game. They don't lose their quarterback. I agree. I felt like they were going to win that football game there. Steve Merril with us, ProSportsInfo.com. Fascinating game in Knoxville, Tennessee, as Ole Miss goes in there as a 2.5-point favorite. The over-under on this game, the last time I checked, was 85 points. This thing looks like a track meet. Both teams are going to snap the ball 100 times unless the Lane Train, in his first return to Knoxville as a head coach, unless Lane Kiffin figures out a way to maybe use his running game to limit the possessions by UT. This is going to be really interesting because UT has been getting fat on some bad teams, and now we're going to see whether or not there's something really happening at UT or whether or not it's just the same old, same old.
Yeah, this total opened 78. It's now 82.5.
Okay.
So even at 78, they couldn't set it high enough. It's gone up 4.5 points. And historically speaking, more times than not, these big totals go over. So it's not like there isn't necessarily value with under 82.5. And it's funny, too, because there's usually the people start saying value with these totals are the recreational players who don't ever care about value. And so it's always comical to me. The only way you could play this is the over for that reason. The one caveat, of course, is that Mississippi has been a little bit better defensively this year until the past couple of weeks, in which they gave up 93 points. Obviously giving up 42 to Alabama, that's a team that averaged 46 going in, wasn't terrible. And then I think last week you definitely could say that was a flat spot for both teams, Arkansas and Ole Miss. I called that the letdown bowl after both of them coming off losses to Georgia and Alabama. What normally happens in letdowns is that the defense gets hurt a little bit. So I'm not going to read too much into the 103 points last week. And then has probably inflated the total this week. And then, of course, I talked about how bad Missouri's defense was. Of course, Tennessee put up 62 on them 2 weeks ago. They did come back with 45. But Tennessee has put up 34 or more in 5 of their 6 games this year. So you got to figure on the surface they should get to about 40 in this game. Ole Miss is a 3-point favorite. That would make it 43-40. That's 83 right there. So the total really probably is not too high.
Yeah, probably is not too high. Georgia can't be overlooking Kentucky. Other than the fact that it's Kentucky, they are 6-0 and they're a hard team, a tough team. Their offensive line beats on you. 22.5 seems like a lot. I've gotten burned on some of these big numbers in the past, but man, Kentucky plus 22.5. Georgia wins this game easy, 14, 17 points, and it looks like a nice little win against a 6-0 team, and they don't come close to covering. Is that too much, the 22.5?
My power ratings make it 30. Can you believe that, Tom?
Yeah,
so,
wow.
Yeah, that's how good I think Georgia is. And like I said, I said it last week. They had them number 1 over Alabama. 2 weeks ago, we talked about those 2 big games here on the show with you. And remember, in both of them, I said there was about 6-7 points of line value on both Georgia and Alabama with my power ratings. And that obviously turned out to be the case. And that Arkansas game, for example, it was 18, closed 16. I made it 25. They won 37-0. This week I make it 30. It's only about 23. So, I'm not saying there's value with Georgia, but I still think the odds makers, believe it or not, are actually underpricing how good this team is. And the thing is, obviously, it's hard to have your A game each and every week, but when your defense is as good as Georgia's, it's hard to let down. This is a team that's allowing just 5.5 points per game and just 3.5 yards per play. Kentucky is a good balanced team on both sides of the ball, but their offense is nowhere as good as Georgia's defense. But it's a big number, and for a reason. But, yeah, I'm not going to fade Georgia anytime soon.
I don't know what to do with Mississippi State. All right, they beat NC State by 14 points. NC State goes on and beats Clemson. They lose to Memphis. They lose to LSU, losing to everybody right now. Yet they went to Texas A&M, and then he beat the team that beat the team. And, they've been sitting around. They got to giggle and watch Texas A&M beat Alabama, so I suppose they get a big confidence boost out of that. And here's Bama again with another 17.5-point line on the road. I found it interesting that the line was almost identical, I think, to the line at Texas A&M. Maybe, what was Bama? Maybe they were 14 there. I don't know, but it was. It seems like it's pretty close. Alabama, 17.5-point favorite at State.
Yeah, it's the old transitive property, right? So Mississippi State beat Texas A&M. A&M beat Alabama, so that means Mississippi State should be favored over Alabama, right? But then it gets really confusing if you go down that rabbit hole too long. It gets really complicated. Everybody could beat everybody. But my power ratings favor Alabama by 16 in this game. Current line, as you said, is 17, so it's pretty much spot on. 17 is a key number. But then again, the big handicap, as we've talked about here today, is, how does Bama bounce back? Historically speaking, teams that lose the first game after, 5 or so in are only about a 40% play against the spread. And the logic there is that it normally blows their national title chances. It's a huge letdown. As we've just established, Alabama's not out of the mix. They run the table, they get in. I mean, if they beat Georgia, they run the table and beat Georgia. They do control their own destiny. But they have to probably realize it's going to be a tough road because they do have to beat Georgia. So I don't know how they respond. I do think Mississippi State was a little underrated after those back-to-back losses against Memphis and LSU. So when they upset A&M, not a huge shock as a 7-point dog. Tough call here, and once again, it's really a handicap of the Alabama mindset. If someone out there has a good feel for it, play it, because I make the line set 16, the currently 17. It really comes down to if you think Bama shows up and plays their A game or not.
Yeah, that's a good point. And then on Sunday, 2 games of interest on Sunday, or one on Sunday and one on Monday. The Cardinals are the last undefeated team in the NFL. They're unbeaten, yet they go on the road to Cleveland, which did something no one has ever done in the 401-game history of the Super Bowl era of the NFL. The Cleveland Browns scored over 40 points and did not have a turnover and lost the football game. I mean, it's just mind-boggling. It's never happened. 401 in one now in terms of no turnovers and scoring over 40 points. They lost that game. But the Browns are a 3-point favorite at home against this Cardinal team and Kyler Murray.
Yeah, it's a great stat. I'm going to steal that one this week and definitely give you credit, as I always do. It's incredible. And, once again, goes back to what we talked about earlier with Bama. Turnovers decide most of these games. And the Cardinals have been a good low turnover team this year. They've had 1 turnover or less in 4 of their 5 games. They've won all 5 of them. Cleveland has not turned the ball over in 3 straight games now, and they won 2 of 3 until last week. So I do think these are 2 good teams, but once again, maybe a little bit better, appear a little bit better than they really are. They've played fairly weak schedules for the most part also. Even though Arizona is in that tough NFC West, they played the Jags, they played the Vikings, they opened with the Tennessee Titans, who were a little flat in that game. Cleveland's also played Minnesota. They've played Houston and Chicago. So this is a step up for both teams. If you look at the numbers here, I think they're pretty evenly matched. Hard to make a case against the over. Once again, I think these are 2 very good offensive teams, and both defensive teams are probably not as good as their overall points allowed as suggested. Cleveland gives up 23, Arizona gives up 19, but they both give up almost 6 yards per play. So I think there'll be some points in this one.
And Monday night, are the Buffalo Bills best team in the NFL? I mean, they look right now, and that's dangerous because it's only 5 weeks in. The NFL, like last year, the Buccaneers were 7-5 through 12 games. Got hot the last month. You want to be hot in December, in January, but if they had a Super Bowl in October, the Buffalo Bills look like the best team in the NFL. They are going to Nashville as a 5.5 point favorite against a pretty scrappy Titans team.
Yeah, and keep in mind, Tampa Bay was a dog at Green Bay. Going into the championship game, at least myself, I thought Green Bay was a better team. And so it definitely can change fast. We think back 3 years ago, when the Saints lost on that terrible no-pass interference call to the Rams. The Rams go in and lose the Super Bowl. I think New Orleans wins the Super Bowl that year. They were the best team. They don't even make the game. The bigger question about Buffalo maybe is how bad has Kansas City become? Because let's remember, one of the reasons Tampa won that Super Bowl is because Kansas City got blown out. I know their offensive line was decimated. We kind of gave them a pass for that reason. But Kansas City's defense is terrible this year. I know Buffalo is really good offensively, but the Chiefs now, after 5 games, have allowed 33 points a game, over 7 yards per play, 9 yards per pass. So I think the biggest takeaway for me from that Sunday night last week is maybe the Chiefs just are not great this year anymore. Buyer beware with them. I do think Buffalo's a very good team. You do obviously worry also about the letdown spot this week. It's always hard to have your A game and now have to play Monday night on the road. Looks like a difficult setup here. And, of course, Tennessee is a smash-mouth type of team. If they can control the line of scrimmage here with the running game, keep it close, they might be catching Buffalo in a good spot here. It's just hard to have that A game every week, and they're off of 4 straight wins and covers, including one of their biggest wins in recent years. So it's a good setup for Tennessee.
Don't forget about my Tom Brady primetime lean now. And it came through. It came through 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
They did not cover. They almost lost the football game, against the Patriots on the road. And tonight, now not only do you get the primetime after bedtime Tom Brady game, but you get it with 3 days rest for a 44-year-old. I mean, come on. And maybe a bad thumb and no Rob Gronkowski, and yet they're a 7-point favorite. So I'm telling you, be very careful, all you Bucs people out there. Would you agree or disagree?
Yeah, no, I thought of that right away. I mean, the angle's working, and let's keep in mind his performance in that Sunday night game was probably his worst of the season. I know there's some weather, but he did not play well. So I do think there's something to that. If you look back over the last 2 or 3 years at his primetime quarterback rating, that's an easy way to start. Just look at the QB rating. He had some really bad outings last year, the first couple. He got better as the season went on, but he's still below average on those primetime games. And once again, for new listeners, it's past his bedtime. No jokes aside, he goes to bed like at 8 o'clock Eastern, and this game kicks off after that. Super Bowl, that was halftime. So Super Bowl, he played well, but it was a little bit earlier. Yes, his thumb is taped.
And it's a
up.
Super Bowl.
Yesterday, his thumb is taped. Right, and exactly. And it was like his fifth or sixth primetime game, so he, got more accustomed to it maybe that season. This is also, as you said, a 3-day travel and no rest basically situation. The road teams historically do not play as well in this spot, so there are some things pointing to Philly. With that said, the one angle I have also noticed on Thursday Night Football, though, over the last couple of years is that the better team normally has the edge on the short week. So that one kind of contradicts the road team angle, because a lot of times that home team is the better team with the short rest. Now it's Tampa has the short rest and travel, but they're the better team. And I do think on a short week, the better team has the edge game plan-wise. So kind of a wash for that reason.
Steve Merril has been our guest. Steve, tell them how they can take advantage of your service at Pro Sports Info. This is an incredible time of year. So much going on. We got a baseball Game 5 we didn't even talk about tonight out west, where hopefully the Giants will win because we all hate the Dodgers, and it's a better matchup for the Braves. But you got baseball, you got the NBA getting ready to start, you got the NASCAR playoffs going on. How do they take advantage of what you guys are doing?
Yeah, great Game 5 tonight. We've actually got Giants are now a slight favorite. Open pick 'em. They're now a slight favorite. If you'd like to get a free best bet, whether it be baseball or football, just tell me which one you want. Tell me you heard the show, and you get a free best bet for myself, Steve Merril, by emailing me, steve@prosportsinfo.com. Free best bet when you mention the show, steve@prosportsinfo.com.
All right, Steve. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Tom.
Steve Merril. All right. So you've heard some of his evaluations. He's got my head spinning right now about a couple of things. Now I'm not sure about a couple of things that I thought I was sure about, but I still usually go with my own ample gut on my picks. So we'll get a break and then we'll come back. Let's make it easy on Grizz. First one in. Please beat the big dog next. 256-576-4977. It's the Thom Abraham Show. Be number one next. And you can play on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, "If you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself."
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
Gunner's Landing is one of the Tennessee Valley's finest golf experiences. Just 35 minutes from downtown Huntsville, Gunner's Landing's 18-hole championship Jewel is open to the public 7 days a week. Located in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, Gunner's Landing offers you a golf experience like no other. With beautiful Lake Gunnersville views throughout the round, Gunner's Landing is golf the way nature intended. Gunner's Landing's Club Repair Shop offers a full range of services, including re-gripping and adjusting the lofts and lies of your clubs, even putters. Since the work is done in-house, your clubs will be returned to you in a timely manner. Unmatched in the North Alabama area, it is Gunner's Landing. Schedule your tee time today at gunnerslandinggolf.com. That's gunnerslandinggolf.com.
If you need a car, McCurry Motors is ready to put you in a quality vehicle, and in-house financing is available. If you have a job, McCurry Motors will work with you even if you have a bankruptcy, divorce, or bad credit. Visit McCurrySaysYes.com. Every car comes with a warranty, and they report to the credit bureau. With 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens, call 256-230-0232, or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville, call 256-713-0575.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners, a heartfelt thank you.
When you call most to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for family.
We show up.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly to mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the lower 80s, dropping into the mid and upper 60s as we head into the overnight. A mostly cloudy sky for your Friday afternoon. Overall, it's not going to be that bad. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid 80s, but we are talking about a fairly healthy opportunity for some rain that'll begin to move into the Tennessee Valley through Friday evening, the overnight, and then potentially through the first half of the day on Saturdays. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Paul Feinbaum. Listen to me coming up today at 2. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Look, I don't give you the picks if we don't play Beat the Big Dog. I don't give you the picks. A couple of weeks ago, we go to Beat the Big Dog, and we went with number 4, and the phone wouldn't stop ringing. Now we say number 1. You guys don't want in? 256-576-4977 for your opportunity to win some food while throwing some tickets to our upcoming Havoc game as well. If you can beat me, I'll even make it a 4-pack of tickets for the Havoc if you can beat me and beat the Big Dog for an upcoming game, and you'll have some opportunities there to choose, what game you want. But if you want to get in it, you can jump in on it now. We've got some real interesting games. I got 4 college games. I got 2 NFL games. 256-576-4977 gets you in, and you can play right now on that deal. We do have a big game tonight in the Major League Baseball playoffs. Of course, it is a deciding Game 5. San Francisco with Webb on the bump there. He beat the Dodgers in Game 1, and I think he has an excellent opportunity to beat them in Game 2 here, or in Game 5 here, to secure this deal for the Giants. The Giants and the Braves would be a really entertaining, I think, 7-game type of NLCS. Of course, it was 7 games last year, right? The NLCS last year with the Dodgers was a 7-game deal. What were they? Were then 1 out? How close were the Braves last year of beating the Dodgers? They was pretty close. They wanted to say they were within a couple of outs, something like that. Weren't they winning in that Game 7? I don't know. I might be misremembering. Grizz knows this stuff. How close were they against the Dodgers?
Yeah, it was like 1 inning, like you said.
Or one. I thought it might have been Dodgers were down to a couple of outs or something like that. Is what it was. I know one thing. I think if it's the Giants, I think it goes 7. I think if it's the Giants, I think it goes 7. The one thing that I like if it's the Dodgers is that they get home ice. And
yeah.
Right? But I don't know.
No, you're right. You're right. That's
but
the
I
way
don't
you
know
said it. Great. I love it. The hockey analogies.
I always call it home ice. I don't know, though, that it matters, really, because they were better on the road than at home.
Yeah. That's why I felt like when they were playing the Brewers that they definitely had the advantage because they were playing so well at away, and they're hot. And like I was listening to Bill Shanks this morning, it's just like this is like any other sport where like hockey, soccer can be like that. A lot of other sports where basketball, especially college and professional basketball, where it's just like whatever team is hot late in the season and healthy, they can really steamroll.
Who were you listening to this morning?
Bill Shanks was on with Talking Ball.
Oh, okay. Bill Shanks?
Yeah, what did I say? Bob?
I don't know. Bill Shanks.
Yeah, Bill Shanks.
Who is Bill Shanks? I don't know.
He's Middle Georgia. Does the Bill Shanks show down there. But I was just listening, and he said the same thing, and I agree with him, and I think a lot of people can agree with him, is that it happens like that where teams get hot late in the season,
right?
Especially in baseball, and it's all about getting hot. And it's like the Falcons in 2016 just had the healthiest team in all of the NFL and happened to be one of the hottest teams. Won, I think it was 8 in a row, and then stopped the Packers who were winning 10 in a row.
Well, yeah, but in baseball, there's a legitimate advantage on it. In most other sports, it's just the crowd. It's all about the crowd, right? If you're playing in a hockey game on the road, if you're playing a college football game on the road, if you're playing, it's all about that. But in baseball, you got last ups, so it should be a big deal. You get last at bat.
Yeah, I would like it. No, especially against the Dodgers. But the way that the Braves have been playing against, I kind of like the way the Braves have been playing against the Giants this year. So I kind of
3-3.
Yeah, but I mean, still, it was a very competitive game. And if you've got to win, like they say, 8, they've got to go 8-6. To basically win the World Series. I mean, that sounds pretty doable by the Braves, especially the way they've been competitive all year, and why Brian Snitker is probably one of the best coaches right now and getting his team where they are now.
There are rules to success, my friend. Rule number 1 is know what you know what you don't know, and know that I gotta know everything to know.
Well, it's time for a little Beat the Big Dome. Bama Bill's going to give it a shot. You guys are on a roll. You've won the last 2. So does Bama Bill get the tickets? Does he get the food? Or does he get whacked? As long as he's not a lemon. We're all right.
I don't know how to say this without sounding a little rude.
Don't be a lemon.
You're a lemon.
Don't be a lemon. We don't want him to be a lemon. So, Bama Bill, have you played Beat the Big Dog in the past? You've played this in the past, haven't you?
Yeah, Big Dog. I played you a couple of times, man. I think I'm over right now. You got me.
All right, well, let's see how it goes down this time. You get to hear Grizz's pick before you make your pick. We're going to alternate picks. Do you want to start with the first pick, or do you want to start with the second game?
Oh, second one.
All right, so I'll make my pick on this first game. I'll make a pick. Grizz will make a pick, and then you can make the pick based on what you hear from his advice. Grizz, what are you at now?
I'm 500. I'm back to 500.
You back to 500?
I went 1-5 last week.
So you went 1-5. You went worse than me?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, at least you're honest about it. You could have lied.
Because I think I think there was only Penn State, Bama, Auburn. What were the other two? Or were there the other 3? Yeah.
I don't remember.
I mean, I was 1-5. I know that.
I know I was 2-4. I try to forget that.
No, I lost.
Okay. All right. So, Bama Bill, the listeners are 15-21. Grizz is at 500, and which makes you what, Grizz? 18-18 or something like that?
18-18.
He's 18-18. I'm 22-14. So those are our picks right now. All right. So, Grizz, give me some advice on this one. We'll start with Auburn getting 4.5 at Arkansas. Arkansas coming off that emotional loss to Ole Miss. What do you think?
I don't know, man. That's scary. That's very scary. I think I'm gonna have to go with Auburn with this one.
All right, Bama Bill. He takes Auburn. What do you think?
Man, I like Arkansas in this game. I'm gonna go with Suey Pig.
All right, so you're gonna take Arkansas.
Like their first home game in 18 years. I mean, it's just weird.
It is. So Auburn goes to LSU and beats LSU. So the question is, is Arkansas better than LSU? And it's 4.5. In Arkansas, I feel like it's going to be a back and forth deal. Arkansas wins on a field goal, but it's 4.5. I'm going to take Aubie here. I'll go opposite you. I'll take Aubie, and I will take the 4.5. All right, in our next game, I'll pick first. Kentucky gets 22.5 at Georgia. I have been sitting on Kentucky for 2 days on this deal. And then Steve Merril says, well, my power rankings make Georgia a 30-point. Oh, my God. And he totally threw me off. 22.5. I am.
That's gross.
And here's the thing. I think Arkansas is as good as Kentucky, and Arkansas got beat 37-0. Kentucky. Screw it. I'm going to take Georgia. I'm going to go against my judgment. I'm taking Georgia, and this is why. Kentucky needs to be able to run the ball. Georgia has an incredible run defense. I hate my pick, but I'm taking Georgia. What do you think, Chris?
I'm going with Jeff from the Borough and those UK Wildcats.
Wow. Okay. I like your pick better than I like my pick. I'm going to tell you that right now. All right. Bama Bill.
That's
Kentucky.
A lot of points. I'm taking your advice.
I know.
Come on, man. That's a lot of points.
I wish I was taking my voice, but I can't change. Now I've already written it down, UGA. All right. So, Bill, Kentucky gets 22.5. I like Kentucky and picked Georgia. What do you like?
Man, that's a lot of points. Kentucky's, they're not a whole lot on offense to speak of. Georgia's defense, stout, of course. It's in Athens. I'm gonna go Georgia. I'm gonna go Bulldogs in a big way.
Yeah, yeah. It is a that's a tough one to swallow, man. That's a hard game. All right, Grizz, next game, you go first. Ole Miss minus 2.5 at UT.
I can't. I'm sorry, Smokey Mike. I can't go with UT in anything. I'm going to have to go Ole Miss in the lane train.
All right, what do you think, Bama Bill?
Man, Ole Miss minus 2.5. Tennessee's got the offense clicking right now. Crowd's going to be hyped up. Man, Ole Miss has got a great offense. Hate to pick Tennessee, so I'm not. I'm going to pick Ole Miss.
Yeah, I'm on Ole Miss too. I'm still in show me mode on Tennessee. I mean, my God, it's Carolina and Missouri. You know what I mean? Come on. I'm not going to get too hung up about what they did there. I need to see them win a quality game. This is a quality game, and I think it comes down to the coach. And at the end of the day, I think that Ole Miss will get it done here. They got to win by a field goal or more. To be honest with you, I'm surprised this game isn't a pick 'em, but I'll lay the 2.5 with Ole Miss as well. All right, in our next game, I'm going first on this one. Bama minus 17.5 at Schizophrenic State. How the hell did they beat Texas A&M? That's what I don't understand. How do you lose to, how do you lose to Memphis and lose the games you lose and lose to LSU, which is terrible this year, and then turn around and beat Texas A&M? Now Alabama 17.5. Alabama's going to play clean. This is a vengeance game just for them to kind of get their swag back. I think Alabama's going to blow them out. 17.5 does not scare me. I'll take Alabama. What do you got, Grizz?
Mississippi State always plays Bama competitively, and I think that I'm going to have to go with State on this one. I mean, they're at home. I'm sorry. As much as it hurts me, but I do have some ties with Mississippi State with some friends and everything like that. And I've been to a few games, and I know how it can
have
like
a 50,000 seat stadium, right?
I know,
it's like a lower bowl at Alabama.
Those cowbells, those cowbells, man.
Yeah,
but I'm going to have to be ringing them. I'm going to go State with this one.
All right.
They play them competitively.
So you're not State Bill, you're Bama Bill. But Bama Bill, will you lay 17.5 or not?
I may do that. I like the atmosphere of Mississippi State at night, and it's kind of they get it going. They have a good time, get loud. But I'm with you, Big Dog. I think Bama's going to clean some things up. I see Bama winning by 3 touchdowns. I'm picking Bama.
Might be even more. I think they're going to hammer them. All right, we'll go to the NFL, Grizz. The Arizona Cardinals are the last unbeaten team in all of football, all of the NFL. They are 5-0, yet they are getting 2.5 points at the Browns with Kyler Murray. What do you think?
Oof, that's tough. And I literally thought the Chargers were going to go in and beat the Browns last week. So I'm going to have to go Cards. I think they remain undefeated, and I think they're going to win.
They're going to win outright. Okay. What do you
think?
They
got a great defense, man.
What do you think,
they can
Bama
stay
Bill?
healthy the rest of the year.
Oh, wow. That's a good game to pick. It's a close one. I like Arizona, what they're doing this year. Kyler Murray's one of my fantasy teams. Really, I understand he's questionable, but Cleveland, I didn't realize they played such a good game last week and lost. But man, that's a hard pick. I'm gonna go with Cleveland. I bet you're gonna pick them, but I'm gonna pick them too.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Cleveland because
I go against them. It's okay.
I mean, they played a great game last week. I mean, they beat the Chargers in every aspect of the game except for the scoreboard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, they played flawlessly offensively. They just played flawed defense, and the Cardinals will hurt them. They'll bite them if they do it again, but it's a different animal in that stadium. I think the crowd will be in full throat. I think that the Cardinals have won some games off the skin of their butts, and I think they come down to earth here, and I'll take Cleveland to cover the 2.5 points. And then finally, Monday night, the Buffalo Bills are a 5.5-point pick at the Titans. I think the Titans are going to keep this game close. I would not be surprised to see the Bills win the game. 5.5 on the road, against the 3-2 team is kind of surprising there. I'm going to take the Titans here on Monday night against the Bills. What do you got, Chris?
I'm definitely going to go the Bills here. They're for real. They're probably, if not the first or second best team in the NFL, in my opinion. I think that even it being away at the Titans, the Titans kind of struggled against the Jaguars, and I know that this division, it's kind of like the NFC West in ways where it may not be as talented, obviously, over there, but it's definitely as competitive, and they beat up on each other. So I can see that between the Titans and Jags. But when I see this Bills team coming in, they've got Super Bowl in mind. Josh Allen's one of the best young quarterbacks in the NFL. I think they're going to outdo them, and I think they're going to beat them by at least 10 or more.
All right, what do you think, Bill?
So Tennessee's getting 5 and a
half. 5 and a hook at home.
Monday night. Oh, they're still hurting a little bit on offense. Titans, I guess, receiver-wise. I haven't checked this week's injury report, but we got a good crowd, fan base in Nashville, and it's going to be a big atmosphere. I'll go with the Titans. I'm going to be rooting for them. I know that. I'll go with the Titans.
Yeah. All right, so in summation, I've got Auburn plus 4.5. You've got Arkansas. We both like Georgia. We both like Ole Miss laying 2.5. We both like Alabama laying 17.5. We both like the Browns, and we both have the Titans. So once again, for the third consecutive week, we have a hug the bear theory going on here, and I'm an Auburn fan. That's the only way I win. I'm an Auburn, and I love Arkansas, and I got to pull for Auburn. That's the only way I can beat Bama Bill. All right, Bama Bill, good luck with this.
All right, thanks, Big Dog.
Thank you.
By the way, Julio Jones is back to practice as of yesterday, so they'll probably release their report later today. So it looks like a good sign for at least, Julio Jones being back.
All right, let's get a break. We'll come back and wrap it up next right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Take your taste buds back in time with a trip to the all-new Bubby's Diner, offering a variety of mouth-watering food from delicious starters to 50-style diner food and meat and 3 meals, featuring owner and Huntsville native Chris Bubby Belcher's family's homemade recipes. Open Monday through Saturday for breakfast, lunch, and dinner at 8412 Whitesburg Drive in the former Gibson's Barbecue. Drive-in, drive-through, carry-out, or curbside pickup with delivery coming soon through Grub South. Bubby's Diner, home of the Donut Burger.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
Hey, this is Justin with the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. We'd like to invite you to North Alabama's premier patio bar and grill, where at the factory, we have something going on each and every night. Monday night, steak night. Tuesday night, karaoke. Wednesday night, the Jeep community comes out for Jeep Jam. Thursday, it's bike night, the biggest in the valley. Friday and Saturday, live concerts on our 4,000-square-foot patio, along with drink specials and a beautiful staff. What are you waiting on? We will see you at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill.
Have you ever found exactly the right new car or truck with the exact features that you want and nothing else? Well, at Woody Anderson Ford, we can promise you just that. Hey, Bobby White back again, and you can now factory order your new Ford today, and you'll get your new car or truck exactly the way you want it. And there's no extra cost to custom order. Plus, you get $1,000 off MSRP on top of any additional factory rebates. This applies to 2021 F-150, Explorer, Ranger, and Expedition. It's a win-win with a custom order at Woody Anderson Ford. You get the colors, the features, and the options that fit your life. Plus, you get notified when it's built, shipped, and ready to deliver. Listen, buying a new car or truck is likely the second largest investment you'll ever make. So why settle? Get exactly what you want with a custom factory order today. And get $1,000 off MSRP. See how at WoodyAndersonFord.com or at the corner of Jordan Lane and Sparkman Drive. Hope to see you soon.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. We're still a place to call for your insulation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatedwitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
Roll Tide, War Eagle, and yeah, you, the Vols fan. We got it all covered on the Thom Abraham Show.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
People stay just a little bit longer. We want to play.
That's pretty much it. We'd like to stay, but we can't. We can tell you about North Alabama Mortgage, though, and the tremendous job that they do at North Alabama Mortgage. You know, at North Alabama Mortgage, whether it is a refi, a new fi, they'll do conventional, VA, FHA, USDA loans. They do it all at North Alabama Mortgage, so check them out. And you never know what you need that money for. You know, maybe you're going to do a home renovation like me. Maybe you're doing need some college expenses covered. You know, something like that. It's all good. And you know, they treat their clients like family down there, and they put them in the best loan possible. So they're going to make sure if you see Brian Hammaker and his crew, they're going to put you in the best deal that you can possibly get. All right, big day for us here today, because tonight you have the opportunity to go to Baumhauer's with Wes and Steve and win Lunch Bunch. And if you win the Lunch Bunch, register to win at the table. If you win the Lunch Bunch, you then go into the drawing, the exclusive drawing, to see who's going to win tickets to the LSU game at Alabama, including a spot at the Baumhauer's pregame tent for the pregame party. So do that tonight. Then right after the Nick Saban show, we will have Game 5 of the NLDS between the Giants and the Dodgers. Go Giants. That's all I can say. Go Giants. For Chad, I'm Tom. This is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.